Hey everybody, Aaron Blaise here, and it's Thursdays. That means we're on YouTube Live. So today's going to be fun because I'm going to draw a dragon. We got a request last week for dragon. So it's not my strongest suit, but I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot. Also, I want to let you guys know that this is going to be our last regularly scheduled stream, probably through for the summer. We've got a lot of traveling that we're doing coming up. In a week and a half, we're going to be headed off to Japan. I'm going to be doing some teaching there for about 10 days. And then we're going to be in Los Angeles. Then we're going to be hitting several countries in South America, doing some teaching down there. We're going to be traveling with Wacom at the end of August. And we're going to be in, Santiago, Chile. I think we're going to be in Sao Paulo. We're going to be in Bogota, Colombia, and then Mexico City. So we're hitting some great places. And if you guys are watching and you're in those areas, watch out. We'll be around at the end of August down there. Also, if you haven't checked out my website in a while, we've got some new stuff up. We've been doing a lot of new things. I've got the bear course out. We've got some new courses coming down the pike. So check out creatureartteacher.com. If you haven't checked it out, there's all kinds of fun art lessons and everything going on there. So today we're going to be drawing dragons, or a dragon. I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to talk to you guys about my thoughts about how I go into doing imaginary creatures. I want to talk about some of the people that I think are really strong at it. And as usual, I've got Dustin Blaise here, my son, and he's going to be here reading off questions to me. Say hi, Dustin.
Hey, guys.
And then as usual, I've got my trusty business partner, Nick Birch, and he's in Sarasota, and he's listening, and he'll also be typing up links and all kinds of fun stuff for you guys if you need some information. So, without further ado, let's get into this. Let's talk about drawing dragons. For me, drawing any kind of imaginary creature, I try to base it in reality. Obviously you guys know, if you know who I am, I love drawing animals, and I'm really big into the anatomy, understanding the anatomy, and then I like to apply that to imaginary creatures. A person that's a real master at this, that if you want to look further, is Terrell Whitlatch. Terryl Whitlatch, Whitlatch, Terrell Whitlatch. She's designed stuff for Avatar, Star Wars, all kinds of stuff. She's an amazing creature designer, but she has, even more so, she has an amazing basis in reality and real world animals, and how she takes that knowledge of not just the anatomy, but how the anatomy works, the physics of it all, and how she applies it to imaginary creatures and how she creates them that way. So I really recommend looking up Terrell Whitlatch before we get on to any of this, because she is a master at this. When I get started doing something like this, let's say a dragon, first of all, I want to do a dragon today that I think is based a little bit more in reality. You know, we do have dragons that are four-legged and have their wings, and I'm gonna do a dragon that's a little bit more like a bird. So his front arms have adapted to wings, and he's got regular back legs. So we're going to base that on, believe it or not, I've been looking at turkey skeletons. I was out at a farm yesterday, and we were drawing donkeys and goats and turkeys and chickens and all kinds of stuff, and I thought, you know what, that's how kind of the dragon thing came about, and Dustin reminded me that we had a dragon request, and I thought, you know what, a turkey skeleton is actually kind of cool. And I pulled one up, and the posture on this skeleton isn't quite right. I want to do something that's a little bit more horizontal, but I think we can pull a pretty cool dragon out of this. I know it sounds weird, but trust me, I think it's going to work. And then also, I always try to pull up some kind of reference, just something that I can get a little bit of inspiration from. One of my favorite lizards that I love the rhythms and the way their whole body is put together are just monitor lizards. Any of the monitor lizards. There's water monitors. There's Komodo dragons. There's all kinds of stuff. And I just love the way their head fits into the thickness of their neck and the way it flows into their body. And they come in all kinds of shapes and sizes. I pulled a few just to look at and get some inspiration from. There's one there. This one's beautiful. Look at the coloration on this one. And I just think, man, they can be really, really appealing and pushed. Here's one right here that I thought was great. I love the skin kind of swirling down the side of the neck, and just all the rhythms. Like I said, I just think are really great. Another lizard that I think is awesome, and I get great inspiration from, are horned lizards. And I think that we can mix the two together and come up with a pretty cool dragon. So that's what I do a lot of times. Is I'll go through, I'll kind of pull from my own stash, and if I don't have my own stash, I'll go through Google Images and just see what they've got, and then I get in there and start thinking about, poses and applying what kind of the reference that I've pulled and applying it to the pose I might want. I want to do something where he's breathing fire. So I also pulled up an image of a monitor here with his mouth open, just to get something that I thought would be a little bit more inspirational and a little more accurate. So I pulled that up, and I thought, okay, well, here we go. Let's just go ahead and dive in. Well, this is the format that I want to go in. And once again, if you guys want to ask questions, type in questions, whatever, feel free, and Dustin will be there to man the questions. I always start really rough and loose, as you guys know, and I literally have no idea what I'm going to do. So I am coming up with the idea right now I haven't sat down to think about it. I've been off doing other things, and so we're just going to create right from scratch. So I want to make sure we get a nice, let's see here. I want to make sure I get our anatomy right. Let's see. Yeah, Dustin.
How do you do perspective on organic shapes?
How do I do perspective on organic shapes? Well, the first thing I do is I think about overlapping shapes, first of all. When you're doing organic shapes, think about overlapping shapes. And that's the first thing that I do. I want And then, like right now, I'm doing this head in perspective. And I'm looking at the monitor with the open mouth. But I'm also thinking I might want to pull the eyes further forward. Almost like a snake. Once again, I'm not the greatest at this, but you know what? I'm gonna really give it a shot. I love doing it. First of all, you guys know I love doing creature design. I want to move this out of the way here. Here we go. Yeah.
Do you think drawing realistic animals is better than drawing them in a cartoonish fashion?
Well, it depends on what you want to do. I mean, drawing them cartoony, if it serves a purpose of character design, then it's fine. But I do think that in order to draw a good, pushed, caricatured, cartoony animals, I think you need to learn real world anatomy first. So let's do this. Let's get that horned lizard. Kind of almost like a triceratops kind of feel back here. I'm just trying to get
Can you tell us something about line weight?
Line weight. Well, right now I'm not really thinking about line weight. I'm really thinking about just roughing in a form. I do use varying line weight, especially when if I'm thinking about light and dark. Areas that are meant to be in shadow will usually go heavier in my line weight. Let's see. And then areas that aren't so areas that are in lighted areas, then I'll go, lighter on the line weight. I'm gonna go a little bit lighter there. You're seeing me really. This is how I struggle. And I'm glad you guys are seeing this, because it doesn't always. It's looking like the Statue of Liberty right now. I'm going to change that. There we go. Not sure I'm liking that part. I'll really search. I want to find a nice flowing. I want something to be a little bit more intimate. Once again, I'm going to look at that skeleton. A turkey skeleton. Maybe shrink this up a little bit.
So you talk a lot about straight against curves. Do you have any tips like that for designing a shape?
Yes, and I'll do straights again. A lot of times if you're thinking about like an arm, here's an arm reaching out, fingers like so, the wrist. A lot of times I'll pick one side to be straighter than another. Things like that to make it more dynamic. It's taking what's already there in nature and kind of, let's see here, and pushing it. So I'm going to have him, I'm going to imagine him like up. There we go.
There we go.
There we go. I want all of this to connect right into here. Thinking about the deltoid here. And I want all this pectoralis muscle to really just going to search right now. Because I want it to be like he's on his wrists and these wings are coming up like so.
Do you think the iPad Pro could be used to make professional illustrations? Because I need something thinner, more portable than a continuous companion or a laptop.
Oh, I do think an iPad Pro can do it. Yeah, sure. Absolutely. I mean, it's not as easy. It's not going to be nearly as easy, but I think you can do it. So I'm looking for that muscle to come in here. This is all going to be wing coming down. Maybe wing coming up this way. Got to get really bold here. I want this to be really kind of realistic in how heavy this muscle, you got to think about if you really had a dragon with wings, with an animal as massive as that, the musculature in their chest would have to be so incredibly strong. Right underneath the bicep. Right down into the rib cage. I'm just trying to get a little now.
Are you focusing more on gesture or the facial expressions when you're drawing people for life?
Both. It depends on what I'm looking for. I look for both. Let me blow this up. Actually, I'm gonna get rid of this altogether. Let's get rid of that. I like what we've got going with the body, but now I want to do something else with the head. I'm gonna stop talking just for a second, you guys. Sorry, this is part of when I'm trying to find it. I'm gonna have a hard time talking, so I'm just gonna hold off for a second, Dustin.
Okay.
Because I want to get this right in here. There we go.
Focus mode activated.
Focus, focus, focus. Just 2 minutes. I want to get in here. You'll see what I did is I kept that body, got rid of the head, then pushed the opacity back so that I could focus on just the head and what's happening there. There's the ear.
Are you ready for any more questions?
What's that? Hold on, I'm still working on getting this out. Just 1 second. I want to make sure I get this right. There we go. This is going to feel a little bit better than what I just had. There we go. Okay, go for it.
All right.
Ready for more questions.
What do you think about a collab with Jazza from Draw with Jazza?
I don't know who that is, unfortunately.
I don't know if she's pronounced as Jazza or Jazza or Jazza. It's Jazza. 2 Z's and an A.
Oh. I'm always up for collaborations. I love that kind of stuff. There we go. So now... kind of framing him in with his own wings. And I'm going to really put, I'm going to put a lot of kind of smoke and debris and there we go.
For a painting like this one, what is your usual canvas size or pixel size for?
Right now, this is 20 by 16 inches at 300 DPI. Come on. There. Wow. Wouldn't grab it for some reason. I'm going to change this. I want to get rid of all this. I want to clear out that silhouette on the head. So I'm going to pull the shoulder back. Maybe just have the wing back here in the background.
So how many times did your sketch pad and or camera equipment get nipped or chewed by Bunny the Goats or any of the critters from yesterday's farm trip?
I got it actually not as much as you might think. Not as much as you might think.
Yeah, the ones we were drawing were like behind a gate, so they couldn't really reach us or anything.
Yeah. I want this to feel real intimate, so I'm pulling this back even more.
Ooh, intimate.
Intimate. Yes, I'm going to let him go off the frame a little bit. Whoops.
Don't forget the candlelight.
Okay. Pick there. This will be all full of flame. So now I can come in and have some fun
So I was asking, could you draw it with feathers so we can see how you paint birds specifically?
This one I'm not doing feathers, but I will be. I'm actually going to do a thing on birds. Maybe we'll get some feathers in this. I don't know yet.
Have you thought about making a sea creatures drawing course? That would be awesome.
I haven't thought about a sea creatures drawing course. That's a cool idea.
Like how I draw dolphins and whales and sharks, oh my.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. All right, let's see here. Still going really loose. Notice how loose I don't want to spend a whole lot of time working on something that's not going to work out, so I go really fast and messy. I don't worry about making it really pretty at this point. I'm worried about getting it down and being efficient and getting something that's from a compositional standpoint, something that's pleasing.
Huh. What's your favorite Disney song?
Disney song. Let's
Yeah.
see. Ooh. You know what? I really liked. I know this is gonna be corny, but I really liked Phil Collins' "You'll Be in My Heart."
Oh, that's a good one. I personally like the Moana song, "We Are Who We Are."
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
I don't think that's the exact title of the song, but I love that song.
So now, sorry if my breathing is. I keep catching myself breathing heavy. Let's see if this is gonna work. This is feeling kind of cool.
Any tips on how to improve anatomy, like books or anything?
You know what? There's so much on Google. As far as anatomy books, I'm not sure what's great that's out there right now. You'll have to research that one on your own. Unfortunately, I'm just not sure what's out there. But I know, when I have a question about anything, I Google it, and I'm always able to find the answer. All right. This one's a little kind of, I don't know, he feels a little typical, maybe not. This horn feels like it needs to go back more. I've got the perspective wrong. And what do we do when we have questions about that? We rotate it. Actually, now that I've rotated it, it feels like I want to kind of just pull that arm, pull all of this right back. Like he's got his arm, his wing back behind him. We'll just get that wing back in there.
Oh, Nick is saying that we sell an anatomy course.
We do have an anatomy course. Yes. Thanks, Nick, for helping me market. I'm an idiot. Yeah, we do have an anatomy course. As far as anatomy books, that was that's what I was focused on. I'm not sure what to tell you. We've got an anatomy course on that I put out on my website, creatureartteacher.com. So if you check that out, it took me a couple of months to put it together. It's a really full course, and we've had great reviews on it. So I was really proud of it. It's something I spent a long time on, and I'd been wanting to do it for a while. Let me get in here. So what I'm going to do here, just to get a little bit of sense of the composition. It's going to be like this. It's going to be like this, y'all.
Somebody put in the new 9 old men, and he actually has named people from 1 to 9. You want me to read them out for you?
Sure.
So number 1 is Glenn Keane. Number 2, Mark Henn. 3, Ruben Aquino. Aquino? Is that how you say it? Okay.
Aquino.
4, Tom Bancroft.
There's no way Tom is number 4.
Number
There's
5.
No way.
Number
I
5.
love Tom.
Number 5, Tony Bancroft. Wait, there's 2 number 5s. What?
So that's kind of what I'm thinking for the fire from a compositional standpoint. I think we've got something that's going to work. This feels pretty good now. Keep going, Dustin.
Another number 5 is Andreas Deja.
Deja.
I guess he can't figure out which one's number 5. Number 6 is you, Aaron Blaise.
Right on. Thank you.
Number 7, Eric Goldberg.
Well, there's no. Eric should be up there. I think Eric should be number 2 or 3.
Number 8, Floyd Norman.
Yeah.
And number 9, James Baxter.
James Baxter should be way up there too.
Well, I don't know if it's like ranking from 1 to 9. I think it's just the, the
they're
the 9 new veterans.
Awesome.
I guess you could say.
I like
of this generation.
That's good company. I'm honored.
Yep. In case you're wondering who
James
posted that,
Baxter is one of my favorite animators ever.
It was somebody by the name of Brando posted that for you.
All right. I like it. All right, so now I'm going to come in and tie it down. Oops.
I was going to talk about working with Dean Dubois, who did How to Train Your Dragon.
I know Dean, yes. We worked together on Mulan.
What was that like?
Dean's a great guy. Dean is a story genius. And matter of fact, when I was helping to develop another movie called The King of the Elves, when we would get the script done, we would send it off to Dean and get notes from him. He would read it and critique it for us. I really love Dean's notes, his story sensibilities. Everything he talks about is great. He's fantastic. I think I want to get some little eye ridge. There we go. I'm just going really quick. What's that?
There we go.
There we go. Sorry.
So he says that the dragon looks a bit like the Horned King from the Black Cauldron.
Oh,
actually,
really?
yeah. Actually, to me, it looks like the Horned King's pet if he had one.
Yeah, you look like a Horned King.
You look like a Horned King.
All right.
What is your favorite place?
My favorite place is the Serengeti or the Masai Mara in Kenya or Tanzania. I love, love, love Africa. It's absolutely, without a doubt, my absolute favorite place. So if that's not definitive enough for you, every time I go, well, I say every time, I've only been twice. Each time I've gone, I'm always plotting on, how am I going to get back here? Okay.
Do you think it's better to learn value first and color theory and so forth after, or should it be combined?
I think value first is good. I do think you should learn value first. I think there's a lot of variables you can play with color that you can get away with. But with value, it's got to be, as far as I'm concerned, it's got to be on.
Did you ever try to draw with your other hand?
Yeah, that looks terrible. So I don't do it. What's the point?
I think it'd be really interesting to do like a challenge stream to where like you do something like that's way out of your comfort zone, and one of
Yeah.
them being drawing with your right hand instead of your left. Just see how well that goes.
I have got to turn this up a little bit. It's a little warm in here under these lights.
Yeah.
Plus I've got two computers running. It tends to heat up my room.
Is this one running? I thought only your main one was running.
No, I got the other one running as well.
Oh, gotcha.
All right.
Somebody wrote Godzilla.
Godzilla!
Gojira.
There we go. Oh, I said it again, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
So one of the things I'm really looking at, especially with something as complex as this, I'm looking at overlapping shapes, but I'm also trying to be really careful of my perspective. I want to make sure things line up. Like these nostrils aren't quite lining up the right way for me. And I think we're just going to catch just a little bit of that eye back there. What's up?
Oh, Nick. He sent a laughing message, and he quotes from somebody. The only thing that bugs me about the anatomy course is that Aaron has a mustache, and it's unnerving.
Hey, I'm thinking about regrowing that mustache, by the way.
Oh, dear God.
I think I'm just going to grow just the mustache and have it come down to about here.
Just the mustache?
Just the mustache.
Oh, dear God.
Yeah. Play some nice 70s music in the background. See how I'm pulling that other part of the cranium up? This is all muscle.
Do you like the designs of various types of dragons from the movie How to Train Your Dragon? One
I
and
love
two?
them. I love them, love them, love them. I love them.
Same here.
Yeah, I love all of them.
Especially Toothless, like the way he flies.
Yeah. Well, that's Chris Sanders, too. I love everything Chris Sanders creates.
Yeah. I think my favorite scene in either of those movies has to be during the first test flight together, and like it's right after they free fall and he's trying to brake, but he just decides to go for it and goes through all the canyons.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, that gets my heart pumping every time, and I've watched that movie over 100 times already.
There we go.
It still never gets old.
There we go. There we go. All right, let's see here. It's looking like his bottom jaw. I'm trying to push the overlap in the perspective of his upper jaw, the snout, but it's still feeling short to me.
Do you think there's a structure for the perfect animated film? If yes, what is it?
Well, I think there's great structure to film. It depends. To me, the perfect anything that I don't know. It's all a matter of opinion, right?
Yeah, it's based off of the
Speculative.
person.
So I do believe in good structure. You know, there's a certain structure that most Western films follow that are a 3-act play. If you want to read a book called, if you're interested in script writing and script structure and story structure and that sort of thing, there's several books you can read that I really recommend. One is Story by Robert McKee. It's just Story by Robert McKee, and it's really great in talking about how 3-act plays are put together. And then Save the Cat is probably my favorite. And it's called Save the Cat, which is a term, and it's a script writing term. And shoot, sorry, I'm talking and drawing at the same time. But I really recommend both those books. Save the Cat is great because he gives I just changed my brush. Save the cat. Meow. Where am I? There we are. One of the structural elements he gives is just how, like the 16 different points that most screenplays hit. And it sounds, on the surface, it sounds really formulaic. But when you start looking at it and you start looking at some of the greatest films, your favorite movies, they all hit the same beats. Now, and before you start saying, well, that's formulaic, think about it this way. Every song uses the same 12 notes. Okay? But they're all structured in different ways and chords and this and that. And these different beats are the same. You can think of it in the same way.
What is your biggest pet peeve when it comes to character design? Can be in the process or the design itself.
My biggest pet peeve, and I suffer it, and I struggle with it all the time, is evenness. Evenness. When everything is evenly placed, even proportions, that's the kiss of death for good character design. Another one for me is if someone's doing like an animal-based character design and they haven't done their research, and even though it's a character design, it's pushed, bad anatomy bugs me. That just shows laziness on as far as I'm concerned. There we go. Yes. So I'm just coming through quickly. But evenness will kill a design right away. So if you're doing, that's flattening it out. I gotta flatten those. There we go. If you're doing a design, really play with proportion. Play with varying up the proportions, head to body, body to legs, yada yada yada, and then also within, just within the head, eyes, nose, mouth proportions to each other, and really push them apart. The best designs you'll see push them away from being even. All right, this is kind of fun. I'm getting into it now. It was a struggle earlier, but now
they got all the lines down and everything.
I'm getting somewhere that I'm having fun with. Now, once again, someone had asked about how do you do perspective with organic shapes, and right now you see what I'm doing. All these wrinkles, I'm overlapping them as they go back in space.
Oh yeah, the very first Aaron's art tips was on avoiding evenness.
There you go.
It says you should try drawing a realistic mushu sometime.
A realistic mushu. I'll have to get Tom Bancroft on for that.
Maybe have a special guest of Eddie Murphy.
Yeah. I live. Oh, let's see here.
Why do you use a high resolution in your drawings?
Why do I use high resolution?
Yeah.
Because I want them to hold together. If they're low resolution, then if you blow them up, they look terrible. So here we'll get a little bit of wrinkle as it comes down. Kind of thinking of elephant skin as we get into here. We're almost ready for color. Took 40 minutes. Took 40 minutes to find this guy. It's about right.
What anatomy do you stay true with when dealing with mythical creatures?
I don't have a set. I try to think about, if I like a flying creature, I try to think about the physics of flight, and so staying true to pectoral muscles and how our arms are built in the same way that wings are built, all of that sort of thing. Legs.
People are starting to guess what the dragon looks like now. Someone says it looks like dragon from Game of Thrones. Another says it looks like Smog.
Oh.
I mean, personally think it kind of looks like a combination of the two. Kind of looks like a Smog and one of those Game of Thrones dragons had a baby. This is what would come out of it.
I love both those dragons, so maybe it was some kind of subconscious serratus muscles in here. Coming down into the pectoralis. And this is all going to get pushed way back and blurry and full of debris, so I'm not going to worry too much. And then here are the pieces of wing. You're just not going to see that much. Same with back here. Kind of framing them in. There we go. There we go. Oh, let's see. I'm rolling over my sheet. Got it stuck in the wheel. My microphone. All right, let's see here. I think we're ready for laying in some color.
For the resolution question from earlier, so I meant the size of the document. Sorry, like 1080p or higher.
What?
When the person asked why you do your artwork in such a high resolution. It was talking about like the actual saved document, like the.
Why is it higher than 1080p?
Yeah.
Well, 1080p is that's just for a video screen. I mean, when you're looking at a document in a magazine, that's 300 dpi. That's a much higher resolution.
What canvas dimensions
are you currently? You can see how much I can blow this up, and then get in there and, there we go. What's that?
What canvas dimensions are you currently working at?
Let's see. I don't know, because I cropped it. So let's see what it is. The image size is 20 inches by 12.7, basically. A resolution of 300 dpi. There you go. Well, there you go. All right, let's see here. Let's go ahead. What color do we want to make him? What color? Somebody tell me. Who writes the...
Oh, dear God.
First color that comes up. What's the first color that comes up?
Huh?
First color that comes up.
First color that comes up?
Yeah, what color should I make this guy as a base color?
You want the audience to pick, or do you want
me
to pick?
The first color that comes up, the audience.
And for a second there, Nick said we have this. We were the stream of the beast, like we had literally 666 people watching.
Okay, do we have a color yet?
Red.
Red. Okay.
Lots and lots of red.
There it is. Red it is, folks. We're going to start with a base of red. I'm going into local color. I'm not going to make it the purest yet. We're going to start in there. All right. Let's see here. The base is red. You guys are going to help me make this thing. Whoops, wrong layer. Forgot to put the background. There we go.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, what the hell?
Here we go.
No.
That's Dustin. Now I'm going to vary up the...
We're done with the colors.
I'm going to be varying up the his color. This is just a base right now.
Drinking cold coffee, painting hot dragon,
Yeah, baby.
making some steam going on here.
This is going to be cool. It's going to be cool. I'm going to push that background dark as well. I'm going to make it nice and cool. Right now I'm just putting in his base color, and then we're going to go in and vary it up.
Yeah, I think for like the horns and maybe like the top of his head, like the crown area,
Yeah.
you should make that like a charcoal, like a really dark charcoal gray.
Oh, do you now? Do you?
Yeah, that's what I was personally thinking.
I don't pay you to think.
That
sounds good, actually.
Huh?
Sounds good. Let's see here. I want to change this up.
Question: how to get an idea to start working on it? What?
Yeah. What? Ask that again.
Maybe how you get an idea and start working on it, or like how do you get these ideas? I can is my best guess of
I
interpretation.
I find it. I have a notion in my head when I'm trying to come up with an idea. I at least have a notion, and then there we go. And then I start exploring, right on the page, and it evolves, just like anything else. It evolves. Okay.
Okay, as you're doing this art, do you have dragon reference images to look at?
I don't have dragon reference. I have lizard reference. So if you came in late, I went over this earlier, but I'll show you. I have stuff like this. This is a whoops. This is a monitor lizard. I love monitors. I pulled up a monitor with an open mouth, so you'll definitely see some similarity here, where I'm getting influenced from. But then I go in and I push things my own way. Here is a horned lizard, so I'm getting inspiration from him, and then I kind of take all that inspiration, and I make stuff up. I fabricate.
You lie.
I lie. All right. So we got a base. Whoops. We got a base in. I got to get that. I want to get the whole everything covered right now. So I'm going to go in the background. I want to keep that background simple and cool. I'll play with it more later.
You meant? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
You mentioned you were planning to go to Colombia, Chile, and Brazil. Why not you and welcome come visit Cleveland, Ohio?
That's a good idea. Cleveland. No, that's actually a great idea. Well, a matter of fact, I just got back from Pennsylvania doing some stuff up there. All right, I'm gonna. Let's see here. I'm gonna get this flamage in here. putting it down underneath everything. So I can just kind of have it exploding out. Once again, I'm keeping it rough at this point.
Where should I study if I'm going to be a game designer? Ringling has a gaming.
Yeah, Ringling's a great
course.
place to study. It really is. Let me see here. Put something here. Ringling's got a really good gaming. As far as the rest goes, to be honest with you, I'm not sure. I haven't. I know schools. For animation and illustration and things like that. Gaming, I'm still not. Not 100% on. I'm not sure where the best places for gaming design are. Gaming design. Let's see here. Where am I going? There we go. That's what I want. Getting all that in there.
Have you seen the Walking with Dinosaur documentary?
I have. I have seen the Walking with Dinosaurs documentary. Yes. I have.
You have?
I have. Want this to come up. Nope. Don't like it. Okay, let's come back here. I'm going to lock that down. Now we can have some fun varying up some color on here. Let's do, okay, we got some red. Let's see, I want to vary it up. Let's go a little more orange, a little lighter. I'm just going to experiment. Drop that opacity back. So right now I'm just focusing on local color. This is variations in color of his scales and whatnot.
Nick and all capture green fire.
Green fire.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good idea. What mineral produces green when it's burnt? Somebody out there's got to know.
I have.
Is it copper?
No idea.
Somebody out there's got to know. So I'm still keeping this pretty loose as a goose. Hey, fidgety, stop fidgeting.
What?
Yeah.
Were you part of the Disney animation attraction at Disney World's MGM?
I was there longer. Actually, I was there longer. I was the longest artist there. I was there for opening day, and I was the last one. Everyone, they shut the studio down, and I stayed on there. I was the last one out the door in 2004, as far as I know. But I started there in April of 1989, and I was there the entire time, April 1989 until July or June or July of 2004. and I transferred to Los Angeles.
How about the green fire thing? Nick wrote, boron or kryptonite?
Kryptonite. All right.
But boron is the real answer.
All right. Well, one of the reasons you'll see, why I put things on different layers, because now I can go to this fire layer. I'm going to turn this one off for right now. I can go to this fire layer and I can go to the hue, image adjustments, hue and saturation, and change that hue and go, yeah, there's your green fire, Nick Birch. I'm going to make it kind of bright, almost yellow. And we're going to really make it hot inside. There we go. That's a great idea. That's an awesome idea. I like that way better. That's pretty cool. This is getting fun now. Let's do, I'm going to put a layer. Let's see, I'm going to put a layer on top. I wonder, just to tie it, give it a little bit of, look at some of the markings. Let me give him some markings.
Would you ever do a reptile course that maybe included dragons or dinosaurs along with the usual snakes, lizards, and crocodiles?
I might do that down the road. To be honest with you, lizards, reptiles are not my strongest suit, so I would need to do a bunch of research and before I did it, because I want to make sure that I'm giving you top quality, and so I got to make sure that I'm educated all the way up on what I need to know in order to create a good course. This value, I'm not sure I'm liking this. Oh, I'm just going to keep going. I can always darken the value. See what I'm doing by adding this lighter value, green? I thought at first this would be kind of cool, but what it's doing is it's breaking up. It's breaking it all up, and it's breaking up the form a little much. But I'm going to have the ability, because I'm doing it on a separate layer, once again, I'm going to have the ability to go in and change that value. I can darken it. I can change the hue if I want. I'm just experimenting right now. Putting in some markings here. There we go.
Random question, but do you watch the Big Bang Theory sitcoms?
No.
Too nerdy?
No, I just I've never gotten into it.
Gotcha. And Nick's saying maybe a deeper green like wildfire for the flames.
Okay. But I'm going to continue. I got to continue on with this first. Actually, I could change it and then just grab that color. See, I want to, when I'm adding the markings, I want to make sure that the markings help emphasize the form, which is why I'm kind of doing this in this way. Let's see here. Oh, man, I pulled my neck or something. See, if I pull that value down, I can make it lighter, make it darker. Change that hue. Ooh, there's something about the blue I'm digging. Hold on. Hold on. Hold the phone.
Hold on there, Sonny.
That turquoise is kind of nice. Bring that hue down just a hair. We're almost the same value now.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to roll with that for a little bit. What's the consensus on this? Do people like it? You guys got to let me know.
Oh,
on these
everybody's
markings.
loving it.
No, the markings, the color of the markings.
Oh, the markings?
Because we're all gonna do this together. We're gonna make this fun.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely liking the markings.
So they like everyone's liking this color, okay? So I wanna, here we go.
There's no stabilizer in Photoshop?
Stabilizer? I don't know what you mean.
I've never heard of a stabilizer in Photoshop before either.
I don't know what stabilizer means, other than on an airplane. See, once again, I love creating markings if they can help describe form. See how I'm trying to describe the form on the muscles. We haven't even gotten into adding shadow and yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be the fun part.
And highlights and whatnot.
What shows do you watch?
I'm so boring. Really boring. I anything that has to do with science and nature, I'm all over. My favorite show is Through the Wormhole with Morgan Freeman. Right now, I'm actually hooked on a show called The Leftovers on HBO. I've been trying to catch up on it. It was interesting. I just got done watching Sneaky Pete on Amazon. So as far as, series and that sort of thing, dramas, fiction, I like those. But anything, I go to bed every night with my phone next to my bed, listening to a new video on mainly YouTube on anything that's science related. Lately I've been hooked on quantum physics type stuff, the nature of reality. I can't get enough of that. For the last few years I've been listening to that. And I've coming up with some interesting theories, but I'm not going to talk about them here. All right, so I'm going to get a little bit more bold with some of these markings. All right. Or the questions have really waned off, huh?
Oh yeah. Oh, hang on.
There we go.
Have you heard the Wings of Fire? It's a book series.
I have not. Is that a dragon book series? I'm assuming.
Guessing so because Wings of Fire.
Well, hello. That's why I thought maybe. And I'm just going to finish out his detailing.
Just showed up. Are those markings or like fire burning under the skin?
Oh, that's a cool idea. No, they're markings, but that's an interesting idea. Oh, all right, let's go ahead and add some shadow. The brightest light source obviously is going to be his mouth, the flame. We can have secondary lighting, so I'm going to add, but I'm going to really push the flame as that source of light. I want to push that underdrawing back a little bit more. I'm going to turn that one off. There we go. Oh, actually, I like it. I like it. Was it this one? There we go. I like a little bit of variance in there. So I'm going to put a layer on top like I always do. I'm going to set it to multiply. Oh, we're only an hour into this, so we're doing pretty good. That flame is green. I still want to go cool. I'm looking at the temperature, the color back here. So I want to kind of go in the same hue. Setting that to multiply. I think I'm going to keep using that brush. It's my chalk brush. I like it for everything. And right now, for some reason, the shape dynamics isn't coming off when I turn it off, but I'm just doing the rough shadow layer right now. Imagining that the flames coming out of his mouth as the strongest light source. The problem with red actually is it's hard to do a bright red. You're gonna find that it's we're gonna have a difficult time doing a bright red. I might change his base color, and that's one of the fun things you can do. I think I've got that on lock. I don't know if I can change it if it's locked.
Do you think it's realistic to start illustrating from imagination without practicing studies or art or do good illustrations? Come from a right learning?
I think you do need to. I think you do need to start with some traditional training. Cancel. I'm going to keep them red. I think you do need to start with some traditional training. It's if you a lot of people. You can. I just think it helps with. It helps build your visual library that I'm always talking about. Sorry, I'm struggling with keeping my talking and thinking at the same time about the image. This is an interesting lighting situation I'm creating here.
When lacking motivation to draw, what do you usually do?
I never lack motivation to draw. I used to at one time, and the solution to that is just to draw. If just get out there and draw whatever. But I I've always got motivation to draw. But I've been doing it for a long time, and I've kind of figured out, what are you doing over there? All I hear is you moving around.
Sorry.
All I do is, I draw every day, so it's come second nature. There we go.
How about smoke or fiery smoke coming out of his eyes, the dragon's eyes?
That's gonna. I think that'd be too much smoke because I want to keep his eyes focused so we can get some expression, and I think that'll kill expression.
Will there be a heat distortion around the flame?
Probably not. I can try it, but I'm not going to do it probably on this one. I'm just going to push that back there a little bit. There we go.
Do you have any free brushes instead of all brushes being purchasable on the website? Do you have any free ones?
I have a free brush. The brush I'm using now, if you sign up for my newsletter, that's free, man. And I have on one of my YouTube episodes, I teach you how to make brushes as well. If you don't know how to make them. There we go.
I'm studying you for my GCSE art. I can't find much about you online for my bio section, but what would you say about yourself as an artist?
I like to draw. No, I'm not. That's a broad question. I'm not sure what do I like to say about myself as an artist. I love creating. I love creating art. I love creating all kinds of art. Here we are today. We're sitting here drawing fire-breathing dragons, and yesterday I was drawing a donkey in the farmyard. So,
one of the most adorable animals to
Davy. His name was Davy.
Davy. No, it's Dave.
Dave.
How often should you calibrate your screen?
I never do. And lately, or usually the Cintiqs now, you don't really need to. I think they're self-calibrating. I can't remember. Somebody might know better than me, but I never do. I make sure that what prints out is the same as on the screen. That's the one thing I do. But beyond that, I don't really. Unless it's drastically different, to me, it's negligible.
Nick believes that this is our biggest live audience to date.
Awesome.
We have 851 viewers right now.
Thanks, you guys.
Holy crap. Holy moly.
All right, so we're getting some nice lighting in here. I'm going to go back in. Let's push this background now. I want to go put some deeper darks in there. Go cooler. I'm going to come on. There we go. push that back. It's a fun dragon.
Pretty cool, man.
Pretty cool, man.
Do you like drawing with charcoal? If so, why?
I love drawing with charcoal. Matter of fact, go to my website, creatureartteacher.com. I do an entire course on drawing in charcoal. It's my favorite medium, actually. I love it because of its versatility and the speed that you can get stuff done.
Have you tried going to work with, or have you tried working with vectors?
No, yes, I have, and I don't like it. I don't like the way it feels. It doesn't feel natural to me. Which is one of the reasons why when I'm animating, I use TV Paint. It's a bitmap base. It's not vector based. It feels much more natural to me. I like that better. I think it looks better. There we go. Yes, yes, yes. Actually, this back here, the shadow on his wing looks horrible. I'll just keep it simpler. There we go. Here we go.
How do you paint very bright color as with fire? I struggle with digitally and traditionally painting bright colors, especially with fire.
Well, there's bright color, but there's also bright value. And fire is both. It's a bright color and it's a bright value. It's very hot. First of all, we want a nice hot temperature, even though we're going yellow-green on this. But we're going to make the value, it's going to almost go white. We're going to go super, super strong on it. Matter of fact, we'll get to that. We're going to get to that really soon, and I'll show you. So stick around. Just want to hit some of these. Now let's go in and hit some of these. I'm gonna, whoops. There we go. I'm gonna set this to overlay. Let's go warm with it. Actually, we're gonna go into the green, right? We want some hot green. Hot green. I don't know what hot green is gonna look like over red. That's gonna be interesting.
Does the drawing pace vary among artists you have worked with? Would something you took 5 hours to draw be drawn in much less time?
Yeah, it varies from artist to artist for sure. It all comes down to confidence, how direct someone is. There's a lot of different variables. See, by doing this where I'm putting a layer over the top of everything and putting it on overlay, notice how it hits the stripes and everything. I'm not having to change it up. I'm not having to change the color by painting like if I were painting direct. See that? It's actually giving us a nice sense of light.
For how long do you observe an object, model, or animal before you start drawing? Do you set up a time limit, like 5 minutes, or just when you feel that you have really deconstructed it?
It's really just when I feel confident. And that's a good question because I do sit and I'll look at an object before I start to draw. It's a big piece of advice that I often give before drawing.
Will you ever make an animation of dragon breathing fire?
Oh, I don't know. I can't say never. I've never thought about it.
Never say never. I'm really liking the green patterns you're putting on the dragon.
Yeah, when you throw the highlights over the top of it, you get a we're getting a nice feel here. Which this is just we're still just roughing it in. So we're gonna have some fun here in a little bit.
Have you ever thought of designing a dragon based on something other than a lizard, such as a hippo?
Well, I've designed them based on birds. Never thought of a hippo. I did one on a kind of like a rhino once, one time.
In a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah, sure. All right, all right, all right. We're going to hit some reflected light down in here in these areas in a little bit. Like that. Oh, I'm totally screwing that up. That's all right. I'm just going to leave it. I thought I was on the overlay layer. Trying to stay loose as a goose.
Have you considered a gamepad for your shortcuts and tools? I keep my left hand on a 25 key Razer gamepad and find that not having to move my eyes from the drawing so much is great for workflow.
No, I haven't considered that. I'm not a shortcut kind of guy. I use a couple of shortcuts, but that's about it. I think part of it is because I never grew up. I kind of missed the video game generation. I'm wondering if I'm just assuming. And it could just be that I'm stubborn. Nick will probably tell you that it's because I'm stubborn.
Yeah, that sounds about
and I'm
right.
sure Dustin will agree. uh, but it works for me the way I do it now. I'm having some fun getting this texture in here. That's fun.
Would be a great idea for a series titled Dragon of the Animal Kingdom or Dragons of the Animal Kingdom.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Of all flying animals. That'd be pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool.
All right, let's do this. I'm gonna. What am I doing? Filter. That's what I want. I want a motion blur. I don't want it that way. I want it this way. It doesn't. I want it this way. Good. That's fine like that for now. And this one's going to do the same. There we go.
Are you going to use stock images for detail on this painting later on?
No. As far as texturing, if that's what you're asking, I won't. I probably won't get that far today. But we might. Let's see. You know, I've still got over half an hour. What you doing, Dustin? You all right?
Yeah, I'm just stretching my legs. I was starting to get a little nappy.
A little nappy. Oh, a little tired, are you?
Yeah, just trying to get the blood flowing.
Okay. This will be fun. Watch this. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to grab that color. Let's go really hot for the center. Hot. And we're going to I'm going to grab, let's see here. I've got a specific brush that I use right here. This will be kind of fun, I think. That's way too big.
They said it is because he is stubborn.
So you see all the spots and specks I'm creating here. And we're going to go super bright white with it as well. Now we're going to go back to our filter, blur, motion blur.
Yeah, for future stream, somebody's requesting insects as reference for creating alien creatures.
That's a great idea.
That'd be pretty cool.
Now I'm going to do this. Edit. And we're going to distort.
What ideas would you pitch for an animated series?
You know what? I don't know. I mean, I've got ideas for things that I'd like to do, but oh, I did that on the wrong layer. Shoot. We're just going to keep it like that for now. I'm going to erase this back.
Nick
we'll
is
get
saying
some
that
more.
you should mention that we do sell a pack of elephant textures, which are great for skins.
They are actually. We do. I use it a lot for just for that stuff. So on the website we sell a big pack of elephant texture, both African and Asian elephants. There we go.
Have you ever thought of doing a realistic version of a giant movie monster like Godzilla or King Kong?
Yeah, I've done it before in the past.
Did you?
Yeah, they've been fun. Long time ago.
In a galaxy far, far away.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to do this.
Have you ever
Actually,
worked
there's-
with Tara Whitlatch? Or Whitlatch?
Okay, Dustin, do you remember me mentioning her
Yes.
earlier?
Yes.
And so I have,
But somebody in here is asking the question.
yeah, I have worked with her in the past. She is my hero on creature design. I mentioned her earlier when we've started. You know, as far as I'm concerned, doing this kind of stuff, she is by far the master. There we go.
When using charcoal pencils, what is the most effective method? Should I use it in drawings with regular pencils?
You know, colored pencil is super forgiving. You can do all kinds of stuff with colored pencil. There we go. Sorry, I'm trying to hit some other shadows here. So whatever method you choose, you know, develop your own style. That's one of the beauties of colored pencil, is that you can come up with your own style and come up with some really great stuff. So I'm going in right now and I'm just picking some certain areas and deepening the shadows.
Somebody wrote, I love dragons. What is your favorite dragon from movies?
I thought Smaug was pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn between Smaug. I'm kind of torn between Smaug and the dragons from
How to Train Your Dragon?
No, not those. Although those are awesome as well. Ring of Fire.
Oh, Christian Bale?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just
And
thinking
Matthew
that.
McConaughey.
Yeah, that was good.
And I think
They were actually pretty darn awesome.
Yeah, and I think the designers for Smog got a lot of inspiration from Ring of Fire, from the way those were designed.
There we
Oh, Nick says Dragonheart, the Sean Connery.
go. I didn't like that one.
No?
No, I didn't like that one that much, personally.
I haven't seen that one in years.
We're going to fix those teeth here in a little bit, too.
You need to make giant puppies.
Giant puppies.
Giant puppies, like
I understand.
what was that what was that child's book? Red Clifford, was it?
Oh, yeah, Clifford.
Clifford, yes.
Yeah.
Clifford the giant red dog.
That's right. I used to read that to you.
That's right. It would be really cool to draw like a realistic version of Clifford.
Yeah, it would be, actually. That'd be fun. So I'm just coming in and hitting some shadows here and there. What I might do is get them to glisten a little bit.
Well, somebody mentioned for another dragon movie, Peter's Dragon. I haven't seen the new Pete's Dragon, but I absolutely love the old one.
Yeah, Glenn Keane animated him too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in the original.
Oh man, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Man, I haven't seen that movie in years and years. Since I was a tiny little guy. Was the story of Brother Bear based off some other tale or book?
No. Brother Bear was completely original. We studied native myths and legends, folklore, for a year and a half. I read almost every one I could out there, and then so that we could get a sense of the style and the flavor, and then we used that to write our own, and that's how Brother Bear came about.
Did you ever get to meet the character designer behind How to Train Your Dragon, Nicholas Marlett?
No, I'd love to. Actually, I take that back. On Brother Bear, we were inspired by the song "Cats in the Cradle" by Harry Chapin. It used to be the story. It wasn't about two brothers. It used to be about a father who doesn't spend enough time with his son, and that was all because we were inspired by that song, "The Cats in the Cradle." And I remember Chuck Williams, our producer and friend, and myself. He and I sat there just talking about songs that really moved us and made us weep, and and talked about our family lives, and that's how that came about. So there was inspiration from a real song. It's just that we then used that to write our own story.
So do you adjust much of the flow brush or the opacity?
A little bit. Right up here, if that's what you're talking about. I change it. I go back and forth on it. Most of the time, it's on 100%. But I like right now it's at 76 because I'm adding these shadows and I want them to go too harsh, too fast.
And someone did mention about um, the dragon from Maleficent, the movie that released a few years back. Angelina Jolie's Maleficent.
Uh-huh.
And yeah,
Was
I
that
guess,
one like the Sleeping Beauty?
actually, no, not really.
I can't remember what it
Are you
looked
talking
like.
about the dragon itself, or are you
Yeah.
talking about? No, the design of that one is really cool because she ends up having a crow as a servant. The crow
I remember that.
turns to a human every once in a while, and was turned to a horse at one point, in which its hide is actually feathers, and and its snout is a beak,
Oh yeah.
which is really cool. And then they kind of did a similar design for the dragon, where it had like giant crow feathers over its wings,
Uh-huh.
and it had like a extra longer crow looking beak,
Got it.
but it still had like the characteristics of a dragon. So yeah, that was a really cool design. I completely forgot about that.
I'm going to try one more overlay layer before I go into my regular opaque layers. I'm going to go really bright with it and see what happens. This to me is like little highlight areas. Ah. What's so funny?
Oh, it's just something that somebody wrote.
Are you going to share it?
I don't know if I should.
Well, if it's not,
Okay.
if it's off color, then nope. This is a family. This is a family show, folks.
Well, it's not. It's not like bad, but can you draw a dragon out of my mother-in-law?
She probably already is, man.
He's saying that
There we go.
Nick says he should do the Shadow Bear pitch live one day.
Oh, that's a good idea. I'd like to do that. See if I can make you people cry.
Do you prefer Pixar CGI or Don Bluth?
Pixar. Boy, we're getting there. We're getting close.
Oh my god, that's so true. Talking about dragons, guys, how can you forget Falcor from Neverending Story? Seriously.
Sorry, didn't like him.
Really?
Yeah, but I think that might be because it's after my time. I didn't like him. Yeah, I mean, I like this character. That makes me douchey, I know.
I love that movie so much. Yeah, Falcor was such a cool character in that one. Do you have a favorite dragon artist?
I don't. You know what? I don't do dragons very often. You're catching me. I'm just kind of winging it today. And no pun intended. I'm just, I don't have a favorite dragon artist. I like dragon art, but it's not something I usually do. I think the line work is too heavy on this, but I don't have time to get rid of. If I lose where's my line work? There it is. Yeah, see, I have a lot of work to do to get rid of that. To get rid of the line work. We'll just keep it in there for now.
Nick wrote, Neverending Story came out in 1984. How's that after his time? I call shenanigans.
I graduated high school in '86. I don't know. I think I was too old for it. Maybe I was born old.
Saturated colors are tricky. Could you talk about it in a separate video?
Sure. See you then. Saturated colors are tricky, and there's a lot that you should think about when you're using them. You want to use them sparingly, obviously. Here, I've got where they're in light, obviously, is where they're the most saturated. There, I'm getting rid of some of the line work. That's a little heavy. It's kind of fun though. Let's do a layer. Let's do a cool secondary light. Let's do this here. Let's see what that looks like. I want to do a side. I'll keep that brush. Let's do a secondary light.
When it comes to color, do you think there will be a tutorial on subsurface scattering?
Sure. I think that'll be part of it. There we go. I'm going to knock that opacity back. This has been fun. I'm just adding a secondary light source from in the background where he's picking up a little bit of rim light. I can go a little more opaque on that. But it adds to the drama a little bit, I think. I like to do this. And it helps define the form a little bit as well. There. Yes, yes.
Do you tend to spend as many hours as possible to finish in one sitting, or do you rest consistently? Is that useful to finding errors or correcting them?
I hate not getting done in one sitting. I don't want to walk away from it, especially with something like this. Once I get to a certain point, I want to see it done, and I'll sit there for 16 hours, 17 hours, if it means I'll get it to be finished.
Are you guys out in Cali, or are you still in Florida?
We are still in Florida.
Yep.
We are broadcasting live from DeLand, Florida. We are about 35 miles north of Orlando. In our little country town.
Question. I really want to get a Cintiq as I'm hoping to go professional soon. I've been told that I don't need one. I'm unsure what would be the best thing to do.
If you're doing digital art, this is my opinion, and it's purely my opinion, so take it for what it's worth. If you're doing digital art and you want to draw and be comfortable drawing, you need a Cintiq. And there's going to be a lot of people that I just pissed off that are going to scream and say shenanigans. But I've never been able to get used to a tablet, for one thing. I've used a Cintiq for 13 years now, and there's no way I can ever go back. As far as creating digital art, animating digitally, I can only do it on a Cintiq. Now, if you want to argue different pen displays and brands, that's fine. I personally like Wacom, therefore Cintiq's the best. I think it's the best tool out there, and I'm a big believer that, you know, if this is your profession, which this is for me, then you get the right equipment. You know, a carpenter isn't going to skimp on his saw or hammer, and I think it's the same way for artists. You know, you want to get the best material, the best tools, I should say. And so for me personally, and like I said, this is just my opinion, I really think you should be using a Cintiq. I think it's the best tool out there. And I realize they're not cheap and they're hard to come by, and you know, all of the arguments. I've heard them all, and I totally get it. But I'm just, if you can swing it, then you should get it. All right. We're coming up on the 2-hour mark. See how that secondary light really adds a lot. And I'm going cool with it to really make the rest of the light really hot. Hot. This has been fun, you guys. Some of this, I'm going beyond where that light would actually go, but I'm pushing it for artistic reasons. I like what it does. I like playing that cool, I like playing this cool line against the warmth that we've got in there with some of the colors that we chose.
Have you tried the new Microsoft Studio? The one that's essentially a massive computer tablet?
You know, I have not. And I'm glad someone brought that up, because once again, you know, there might be other pen displays out there that people like better. I just haven't found one yet. And basically the only reason I haven't found one yet is I haven't looked. So that's why I said, please take my advice with a grain of salt. I've been a faithful Cintiq user from day one, because I love everything I've been able to do with it. So I've never really had a reason to look elsewhere. But if you are interested in a Cintiq or Wacom, you know, if you've never heard of them, if you're someone that's sitting there that doesn't know what we're talking about, I'm working on a pen display. I'm drawing on a screen, monitor, and that doesn't make any sense putting that color right there. And it's a screen made by a company called Wacom, and if you go to wacom.com, you'll see all of their products. Check them out, because I really recommend them.
What about the iPad Pro and Apple Pencil and Procreate?
Yes, and I actually I think those are great. But for me, from a professional standpoint, to me that's I don't do my right now I'm working on a 27-inch screen. That screen is this big, and you just can't do that with an iPad Pro. But to your point, yes, I have an iPad Pro. I love it. I use it. There, that's kind of cool. We're getting some nice.
Nick wants me to say the problem with the Surface is that it's tied to the computer guts. So when they become obsolete, it's toast. Your last antique you used for 8 years and hooked up to multiple computers.
That's true. Okay, thank you, Nick. Yeah, I don't have the expertise to speak on it like that. And so yeah, that's a great point. I had a 21 inch for a long time, and then I went up to the 22 inch, then I went to the 24 inch.
Am I using the 21 or the 20?
You're using the 24 right now. Nick's got the 22. And they and we'll be using them for years. So adding this, see how this cool blue light, like it's coming down from above, really makes this sing. Playing those warms and cools. Oops.
Any tips on drawing with your shoulder on a small tablet?
Draw from your shoulder. Just practice that. When I'm drawing on a small tablet, I really don't draw from my shoulder. That's why I like to draw big, because then it's easier to draw from your shoulder. I go back and forth. Like right now, for some of these little details, I'm drawing from my wrist. All right. One other thing here. I forgot. I wanted to get. There. We're almost there. We're in the home stretch. I think we've got something kind of fun. Let's see.
With the red with the green markings, it kind of looks like something you would see out of like a I don't know, like a Star Trek or Star Wars, like in a very primitive planet.
Yeah, I like that. That's a. So
I know, like brighter, like neon colors, kind of makes me think of like sci-fi, but like Star Trek-y kind of sci-fi.
Gotcha.
So
is that a bad thing for this, you think?
no, not at all.
So right now I'm going in and just adding a little bit of variance, excuse me, reflected light. Adding a little form. This is just a regular opaque layer. The blend mode is just normal. Trying to define some of that form, which means I'm going over I want to minimize how much I go over the markings, because I actually have to go and gotta hit the markings as well. But I'm just keeping it loose. That's my usual style, especially when we're trying to do something timed like this. Not timed, but within a certain amount of time. Let's see. Maybe we get. I'm just gonna grab that color. Let's just grab that color. We'll go a little darker with it. And I'm just gonna see what it will look like. There's little bits of highlights in some of these areas. Like it's a glisten, almost like he's wet. Like a whale would glisten, I'm not sure if this is going to look right.
Do Do you enjoy studying architecture and scenarios? Does that influence character design in terms of setting setting and concept?
I've never done it. That's a great question. I you know, when we're doing environmental design and character design and whatnot for a film, for instance, a great example to what you're talking about is Zootopia, where the architectural design and the character design were really melded together. I think that's what you're talking about anyway. And it's not something I've really done. I've never been on a film. I wasn't on Zootopia. I've never been on a film or directed a film where we got that deeply into the design. Let's see. That's kind of interesting. It does make him feel wet and glistening.
Have you or can you make a video on the iPad Pro?
Yes, and we will. I'm actually going to be doing a digital painting course. We're going to do 3 different courses. I'm doing a course on digital painting in Photoshop, a course on digital painting in Corel Painter, and then one on the iPad Pro and using shoot, I'm drawing a blank. Come on, what's the software? Whatever the software is, I'm drawing a. I'm sitting here drawing.
For the iPad Pro?
Yeah.
Procreate.
Procreate. Thank you.
Sorry, I was busy looking.
Thanks,
for the,
Dustin.
Sorry. You're welcome.
There. This is fun.
Man, we need to figure out a way to record the stuff that happens on the tablet when the time comes for that.
Well, Procreate records.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
It's only on the Pro they can use Procreate.
That I think so. Yes. All right. So you can see up close. You see how loose this is, but once again, the whole idea is to get this baby to.
Oh, Nick says that it's built in. Oh, the recording.
Yeah.
Of that Procreate. Built in. I already know how to do it. Okay.
So I'm just hitting little details now with this. I'm imagining that the light of that fire is really glistening back on some of this. There, yes. All right, we're almost there, folks. This is my last little bit. You know, up until a half an hour before I was going to do this, I had no idea what I was going to draw for you today. That's what I love about this stuff is I had no idea, and now we've gotten to a place where I've created something that I'm having a lot of fun with. It's the beauty of art, right? Trying to keep it really fast. See how loose I'm staying? It's about value and color.
Can you do a video on tightening up light and shadow from a previous painting?
I'm not sure what that means. If I'm tightening up light and shadow from a previous painting.
Maybe maybe he's talking about like doing a color correct.
Uh,
Like how to properly do that?
sure, I could try something like I could try that.
Do you like comic art and artists?
I do. I don't know comic artists, but I do like comic art. Decided to push that secondary light even more. And I'm going to go brighter. I want to hit some of these with a little brighter highlight. So even brighter.
Can you give the dragon some scars?
Oh, I could. You getting tired again, Dustin?
Yeah, I think it's just the chair's so low.
Here. Oh, I thought I had a chair over here. So I'm just going to hit some details in here. One thing I didn't do, I didn't hit his eye. Look at that. See what that did? Woohoo! Yeah, baby.
I personally feel I'm a very slow artist. Any tips to draw faster?
Yeah, just keep doing it. Speed, don't worry about your speed. Worry about your quality. Speed will come. I was slow, but speed will happen over time.
Quality over speed.
Quality over speed, always. Always, always. All right, I'm going to hit some of these areas in here.
What should I do if I'm drawing from life and see an animal but have no idea what the anatomy is like?
Well, it's funny. We're actually going to be shooting a video on that. You should do your research. If you have the ability to go out and do your research before you go out to draw, if you know you're going to the zoo and you're going to be drawing tigers or lions and whatnot, try to brush up on your anatomy before going out. And also start studying comparative anatomy. You know, we all have the same parts; they're just in different proportions, compared from one species to the next. And that's how I remember anatomy. I don't think about, I memorize all the main parts that we have, and then it's really all about learning how they're proportioned differently from species to species. For instance, see if I can find it. Here it is. This is what I'm getting ready to do a lecture on. Here I've got a donkey. I went out and did some drawing yesterday at a farm, and the donkey has the horse skull. The neck is a specific flow to it. You got your rib cage. I always think about the scapula into the shoulder, into the upper arm, down into the legs. Pelvis is a big area to think about, and how the femur connects into the knee. That you remember that. But then once you got that in your head, then here's a goat. It's all the same. It's just proportioned differently. Even here's a turkey. I drew turkeys yesterday. And there's the pelvis, there's the femur, all the way down to the leg. The upper arm, it's just a little bit more like ours, but it goes into a scapula back here. Look at the flow of that neck. Very similar to the flow in the neck of the goat. It's all the same. We have all the same parts. They're just proportioned differently. And so that's what I really recommend you studying is, this, first of all, the specific anatomy of the animals that you're going to go and draw. See if you can brush up on that before you go out. Otherwise, you're just going to be struggling. And then, check out comparative anatomy. All right, I'm almost done here.
Do your characters ever come into your dreams?
No. My characters have never come into my dreams. There we go. There. We're hitting some stuff I like. So that was kind of fun. We're almost done.
Is being a perfectionist bad?
No, it's bad if it affects the bottom line. Meaning, if you're missing deadlines, if you're causing a budget to go over because of your being a perfectionist, then there's a problem. But the best talent, the best ability to have is being a perfectionist within the parameters that you've been given from a budgetary standpoint or a job standpoint. When you know how to do that, that's what makes a good director. That's what makes a good job supervisor, is being able to work within those parameters and getting the best out of it. Okay. All right. I am there. I know I keep drawing, but I think I'm there. That feels pretty good. I'm going to put some debris in here. So let's, you know what? I've never saved this.
Oh boy. But you have the autosave set though.
Yeah.
Still,
let's just save it as a dragon. Yeah. There's a lot in here. I'm gonna add some. Let's get in here and just add some. Let's see, some debris.
Some.
Yeah, some. Let's see. Let's have some fun with some textures now.
Interesting question from Nick. I ashamed for asking this because it's very low level, but I have heard many artists talking about the fundamentals of drawing. What is this?
The fundamentals of drawing?
Yeah.
It's the basics of drawing. It's looking at shape. It's looking at contour. It's looking at form, adding shading, shadow, lighting. Those are all the fundamentals of drawing. Line weight. There's a lot of different things that go into the fundamentals.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And autosave only works after you do an initial save.
I want to see something real quick. I want to see what happens if we put a radial blur on that. Let's put it down here.
On the flame?
On the layer that I just created. It's too much.
Don't forget to zoom in to show the detail.
Okay, I think that's kind of cool. We're going to use that. Oh, no, don't tell me I did that. Sorry. I put the radial blur on the wrong layer. I put the spots on the wrong layer. I put the spots on that layer. Doggone it. Do that all the time.
What the hell?
Yeah, well, we'll have to just roll with it. So I'm going to keep that. Put a new layer. Gosh. Let's do it. Let's do it again. Damn it, Bobby.
Oh, damn it, Bobby.
All right, let's see here.
Sorry, Dan.
Get a little bit of radial blur out of this. Feels all right. That gives us a little salsing. I'm gonna use my cloud brushes. I got a specific brush I'm looking for. Where's my cloud brushes? Here they are.
That's why we named layers.
Bastage.
The person story of my life.
I'm telling you.
I'm telling you, man.
See.
Question. How in the world do you animate antlers and keep them so rigid looking in 2D They almost look digitally imported in movies like Brother Bear and Bambi, and I've always been so curious.
Because they were.
Oh, they were digitally implanted?
Yep. They were roughed in by hand, but we modeled them 3D and then went back in and moved them around from key to key, and then the cleanup artists went in and drew over the model.
So
And that's how
basically
we
you had
did
a
it.
CG assist
Yep.
on the antlers.
Yep.
Oh. Interesting.
We did.
How did they have that same thing for like Bambi from way back when?
No, they used they rotoscoped it. I don't know if it was rotoscoped or they looked at it. They had a model and basically did the same thing.
Huh. Like Brother Bear, for instance, they would just animate the head for now.
No, but
And then
they would rough in an antler.
Oh, rough in the antlers.
Yep, and then
But then they would bring a CG model of the antlers, and they
Yes.
would refine
Yes.
like the outlines of it
yes.
throughout the. Gotcha.
Oh, I don't want that. That's got canvas texture on it. Grab the wrong brush.
So I wrote, "Dang it, Bobby, on it right."
There we go. There we go. I'm trying to get a little bit of.
This person
Texture.
is echoing another person's question, but have you tried the grayscale and color method? But do you see the pros and cons of it? I don't remember the pros and cons part being in the previous question.
I'm not sure I follow.
Have you tried the grayscale to color method?
You know, I hear you. I'm just
Maybe-
not sure I understand the question.
Like, do you see any of the goods and bads out of the grayscale?
Well, yeah. I mean, to me, it all goes together. That's why I'm having a hard time
Okay,
separating it. I don't think about one without the other.
gotcha.
I'm gonna do one last thing, and then we're gonna get out of here.
Get out of here.
I want to see if I can make a little silhouette out of for those teeth because they're in front of the flame. Make them a little darker.
Darker.
What am I doing? Oh, the opacity is only 15%.
Do you delete your lines after you paint them, or do you just simply paint over them?
I simply paint over them usually. Sometimes I'll delete them. This one I'm leaving the line work in just because it helps hold it together a little bit.
Oh, Nick is saying about the color corrections. Says they mean starting in values and then doing color pass.
Oh. Thank you, Nick. You know, there's benefits to that. I don't like to think about it separately like that. Once again, I guess going back to the same thing I was saying, I guess. But I think of everything all together. I've done it before. Let's have some little embers coming up. There. This has been fun. 2 hours and 15-minute stream. This is our longest stream yet.
Yeah, somebody was actually asking about that.
Yeah, this is definitely the longest one. Sorry if I've gone too long for you guys.
Longest stream I did back when I was up in Canada was over 24 hours.
Okay, there's not doing that. And they'll have a couple of embers over here. I'm trying to get a little bit of texture in here.
We'll attempt to do a traditional oil painting all the way through, which would take about 24 hours from beginning to end.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be our 24-hour special.
All right, now let's I'll do one more thing. I know I keep saying one more thing. I'll pull in some dark. I want to vignette them just a touch. It'll give it a better sense of light in the middle. There we go. Like that. Save it. All right, let's I'm going to go ahead and flatten it. All right, now.
Oh, Nick is saying this is actually not the longest. It was the Sea Creatures live stream that was longer.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. But he's gaining on it. Or we're gaining
Well,
on
it's
it.
interesting because this one, I think this one's better than the Sea Creature one. I want to experiment. I want to try something. I want to use my blur tool, blur gallery. I want to try something. What if we... I like playing with blurring the things that aren't the focal point. That's kind of interesting, huh? What's the consensus? Do you guys like this with the blur? Let me hit return on there. There we go. There's something that's kind of cool about that, I think. I like it. I like it a lot.
I like it a lot. Which laptop or computer are you using right now?
Power Mac or Power
Mac Pro?
Mac Pro, yeah, thank you.
Welcome.
All right. Now I want to do one more thing, or two more things. I want to see what it looks like if we push the saturation. Holy moly, look at that. I like that.
What'd you do?
I pushed the saturation. Now I want to do one more thing. I'm going to go right in here. I'm going to go, this might not work. Grab the airbrush and go big. I'm going to drop it down to 6%. I'm going to color dodge. I'm really going to hit it hot. Hot in here.
My ear's hot.
So now we get a really strong sense of hot. Right to where we're losing the edges of his mouth.
So what's the difference between acrylic and oil color?
Acrylic is plastic based and oil is oil based. That's the difference.
So acrylic is the
Acrylic is a completely different medium.
Huh?
Acrylic is a completely different medium. It's acrylic paints didn't come about until the late 50s, early 60s, I believe. Someone else might be able to correct me, but it's they're plastic based.
Is that what you used to use a lot for your traditional paintings?
No, I use oil usually.
Okay.
I've done a few acrylics, and I like acrylic.
Is it?
And
is
actually,
it like,
I'm going to do acrylic course.
Is it like harder to use acrylic than oil, or they?
Actually, I
kinda
think
the same?
acrylics are easier. Acrylics, I think, are more forgiving,
Oh, really?
and they dry faster. They each have their own quirks, to be honest with you.
Gotcha.
So look how hot I'm really getting that. It's like his mouth is a furnace. There we go. So there's our fire-breathing dragon, y'all. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. If you haven't seen Guardians of the Galaxy, then you don't know what I just did. All right.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. Don't forget to zoom in so everybody can see the details.
Boom. What do you think of that? So there it is. Normally I would, if I was doing this as an illustration, a finished illustration, I'd probably work another 3 hours on it so I can get rid of the line work. But I really wanted to focus on color, value, color and value. And keeping it loose, keeping it fun, and just talk about trying to take real animals and be inspired by them and create something new. So that's what we've done here. And oh yeah, you always got to remember to sign it. And so that was a lot of fun, you guys. I wasn't sure how it was going to come out. I'm not super confident when it comes to dragons, but this one I enjoyed. It was fun.
How about if next week you try to draw a combination between a gorilla and a rhino?
That would be great, you guys. I'm sorry, but I mentioned earlier I won't be doing a stream next week. This is my last scheduled stream for the summer, to be honest with you. We will be doing some streams along the way. I just can't schedule them right now. We've got a lot of travel coming up. I'm going to be creating courses, and I just don't have, we don't have the ability to schedule right now. I'm going to be in Japan in a week and a half. We're going to be in South America through the end of, at the end of August. I'm going to be in the Northeast. In July, we're going to be in Los Angeles. We're kind of bopping all over the place.
How long did you say you're going to be up in Japan for? Like 2?
We're going to be in Japan for 10 days, starting on the 14th of June. Gotcha. And we'll be teaching some courses out there. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Remember, stick close in case we do decide to do a live stream. It'll be off the cuff. But remember, if you're not around when the stream happens, these always get uploaded later on, so you can watch them later. But this was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I hope you learned something with lighting and color and all that, and working with imaginary animals and composition and all that. It was I really enjoyed it today. So go out and play with some of the techniques that I showed you, and I hope you guys have fun. That's what it's all about. Making art shouldn't be painful. Just get out there and do it. Just do it. Create some beauty, put it back into the world, and make the world a better place. That's your job. So until next week, I am going to sign off. I'm right here. There we go. I will see you guys next time. Talk to you guys later. Bye.